Peace and light, peace and love, and thank you for connecting with the Sirius Cypher today. I'm here on deck with Aquarius Moon. What's going on?
Hey, lady.
Hey, hey, hey. So I'm just getting it together and collecting myself. I had some really groundbreaking information that got scooped up by big tech. And so
Oh, wow.
I'm feeling some type of way. That just threw me completely off. I had it all ready and loaded up and all of that shit. And then I go to retrieve it and it was like it's unavailable. And so I was, that's what happened. But anyway, I ain't going there. I ain't got time for that shit because today I got a moon and we got a moon in Aries.
Oh,
And
wow.
that Aries moon really gets us into that whole vibe of wanting to get a lot of shit done. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
one of the things that I do know with that energy, especially because it works with that emotional sense, like I got to calm down, I got to slow down because I'll start jumping to some conclusions and everything, you know what I'm saying? But that's what this energy does. And I've noticed that, you know what I'm saying? It's been just showing up in a powerful way. So I'm in this whole hold up, let me wait a minute, let me chill out. But yeah.
It's understandable. Definitely understandable.
Yeah, that's how I've been experiencing it. But tomorrow is going to be a lot more grounded when the Taurus energy comes in there, right? But
Yeah.
That Taurus moon um is really speaking to this energy that I'm talking about today. And by the time people listen to this, they'll probably be up under the influence of that Taurus moon energy, right?
Yeah.
That Taurus moon is about all of that root chakra shit. You know what I'm saying? That security, feeling safe and everything. And when
Right.
the moon is like in Taurus, this is all about us needing that security in order for us to feel safe and secure and whatnot. And one of the things that I also recognize is that Taurus also houses values, right? And values is all about us knowing what our North Star is. You fuck around with this energy. See, this is some energy where you compromise yourself in order to in order to gain some financial or security. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people will sell the hell out up under that type of energy, right? And
Oh, wow.
yeah, and so that's definitely something, you know what I'm saying, to keep an eye out for. Any channels, downloads, messages come through for you?
Well, I've had some personal stuff come through because
Mm,
actually I haven't been feeling too well. So
mm,
I finally got a new diffuser for my bath. So I actually just took a healing bath. And so
mm,
I got, I'm saying, a lot of information, but for me it's personal for me, but it may help somebody else too.
mm,
At this point, it's about discipline and diligence.
mm.
So yeah, you're definitely gonna need to. Well, I definitely need to work on my diligence and discipline because, like you said, people would sell the hell out under that energy,
Mm.
and discipline won't allow you to if you know your goals and you know your worth. So,
Yeah,
discipline while under fire is
yeah.
the message that I got.
I
So,
heard that. I heard that. I heard that. I been having some very weird and strange dreams, but I'm figuring that whole thing out. I'm not really even sure. Like I had this dream that you and me and Shawila was in a mall and the mall turned into something else. And you know what I'm saying? I wrote that shit down. I kind of forgot what the hell that was and everything. But it was really weird, like we kept changing course and everything. And then um Shawila, she kept like looking different. You know what I'm saying? Like looked like herself, and then she looked like some other chick that I didn't really recognize, and all of this shit and everything. And so I'm still sipping on that, and I know that, we all have like a lot of history and old patterns and all of that other stuff. So I'm thinking,
right.
we're all those individuals in our family that's called to break those generational curses, you know?
But you know what? The funny thing is, it's like what you said about your dreams. Like when I have dreams like that,
Uh-huh.
I'm usually like in a big area where there's a lot of people, like malls or carnivals or things like that. That's
Yeah,
really funny that you said that. Or
yeah.
a big city with a lot of people. So
Word. Okay. Yeah,
sure.
and that's what I've been doing too. And I remember, and I asked my teacher, Miss Blue, I asked her about that, right? And she
Uh-huh.
was telling us about, she was telling me about, because I was having those dreams where I was connecting with a lot of people. We'd be, out in the streets, and you know what I'm saying, and in neighborhoods that would be like a neighborhood from where I grew up at, or an old house or something like that. And we would all congregate. And these are ancestor, you know what I'm saying? The
Uh-huh.
ancestor realms and what they're looking like now and everything, which has
Okay.
been, you know what I'm saying? So, we're we're definitely still doing this work on this thing we call ascension, right? So
Right.
uh so yeah. But anyway, I wanted to go ahead and just begin in on diving into this whole energy, right? Of the feminine energy, the creative, the authentic, because this is the key word in all of this is really about the abundance piece, right?
Uh-huh.
This is why I like um how this whole thing ended up lining up with that Taurus moon. And then I pulled the Empress card, which is connected to that Venus energy, which is all connected and related. Like this shit's just,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? It's just so gangster. And
Yeah. It is.
yeah, so I'm definitely loving that. But I wanted to get in and talk about a lot of the things that we do, this conformity. Like I said, this is just like it just lines so in line, because spirit has been laying this one in my heart about us really watching our energy and when we conform, right? And
Right.
how we are such social beings. See, when
Yeah.
we open up when we're authentic, when we are true to who we are, we really open up our creativity.
True.
But we're hardwired as social beings, right?
Right.
And so for me, it seems like there's a little bit of confusion with conformity and socialization. Like, why is this such a challenge? What are your thoughts on that? Like, why are we being able to socialize and be in a good space with people? What you have to be just like me.
Okay, well, the thing is, when we were programmed coming up, we were programmed into believing what what you see ain't real, what you think
Mm,
ain't real. So what's real is this over here. It's concrete. You can touch it, you can hold it, you can smell it, and this is the right way to go. Because see, and they give you all of these examples of why this is the right way to go, but they never tell you that you can think outside the box. They never tell you to come up with your own brilliant ideas. They never tell you is um, they don't want you to think. They basically want to conform. They want you to conform so you can go out here into the workforce and make them some more money, basically. But
shit, yeah.
but
Yeah.
I just all of this just came to me like when I was in my meditation
Mm,
not too long ago. What it is for me, like I said, it's always personal to me. But for me, what it was is when I went through my inner child
mm,
healing phase,
mm,
what I learned was I was right.
mm.
Not to say, aha, I was right, you was wrong, but I should have believed in myself more. You know
Word.
what I mean? Because I lost a lot of faith in myself. What
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying, growing up, because everybody was telling me I was wrong.
Right.
But then come to find out years later, after you sit back and analyze, it was, what I'm saying, it wasn't that I was wrong. It was that they couldn't recognize how right I was.
Absolutely. And you know what? This is so crazy because I'm noticing that a lot of individuals that's in the spiritual community have been getting a lot of the same downloads, where we all feel compelled as a community to really encourage and support each other with us being those individuals that's like that holds the light within our family, right? And
Yeah,
even though they may not see it that way because it goes against the teaching, you know,
exactly.
that we really like suffer and we go through changes and so much rejection um because we see the world differently. And
Mm.
I really wanted to look at that, like, I noticed that, especially when I get around like a lot of relatives that I have, and I have gotten into a space now where I just let people talk unless they ask me a specific question. Like I have gotten
Mhm.
from around this whole trying to enlighten folks, or even giving my perspective on things, because I realized they ain't even ready for that shit, right?
And
And so I noticed that you can't really socialize with people without conforming. It turns into a shit show otherwise, right? You
yes,
know,
ma'am.
see, either
Been
you
there.
thinking just like me and you
Uh-huh.
falling in line and agreeing, or we ain't cool at all.
Oh,
You
I
know
grew
what
up
I'm
with
saying?
the queen of that. My grandmother. If any situation, if you don't agree with her, then you
Right,
need professional help.
right.
And she's going to tell you to your face, you need professional help. So, but
Absolutely.
you know, people are the saying, live and let live. You never know what beautiful things you might come across when you let somebody be themselves.
Yeah, absolutely. But this is a challenge out here in these streets, because it seems almost as if you have a different perspective. And this is why I really try to encourage us here on the cipher to really bring our perspective. So I'm going to start really trying to pose more questions that kind of get away from how I'm seeing it, and really try to deliver insightful information so that we can get different perspectives, because we damn sure don't have to agree on everything. We all see shit differently and everything, right? Like today,
Right.
let me tell you, today, I wanted to talk about this one too. So I watched that movie called The Woman King
Mm-hmm.
today. It was on Netflix. That shit got to Netflix quick.
Oh wow.
I watched that on Netflix, and it was a good movie. And the portrayal of women, like, I mean, it was a reach, but it was still done in a positive light. So now I see why, what is her name, Viola Davis? What?
Yes.
Okay, I see why she took the role, because I was thinking, like, I thought she would might have been quicker than that. It's the title of the movie. They slick with how they move, right? The
Right.
title of it just fucks with you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It puts a little something in the subconscious mind. But the movie within itself, it was very inspiring, encouraging, and everything, and bringing families back together, and and balancing that male and female principle, right? But
Uh-huh.
right now we got the word on the street is that women are too masculine, and now they're talking about how black men are being feminized. What is your thoughts on that?
Honestly, I believe it is the energies, period. Like you can embody masculine energy and you can embody feminine energies.
Mm,
It's all energy, no matter who it's coming from. So
mm,
you're allowed to be that. And that just came to me earlier. Once again, when I was in my meditation, as you know, what I'm saying, I was taking a bath, and I
mm-hmm.
was the water out. I was thanking the water for healing me, and I was thanking the herbs that I used. I was thanking the salt. I was thanking the earth. I was thanking my ancestors because they were there too, and I was just being thankful. And then I thought, like, you know how in the Bible they say the God is a jealous God.
Mm-hmm.
So if they say the water, what I'm saying, the water is a God within itself, and the water is water. It's water because it's water. You know what I'm saying? The salt is salt because it's salt. You are what you are.
Mm,
And if that's worthy to be praised, then praise that. You know what I mean? Don't worry about the negative.
right,
Uh,
right.
you know what I'm saying? And how the flip side of that is to me is say if I have this natural water here that can heal me, but I decide to go take man-made, drugs to heal myself, then wouldn't that upset the natural balance? And you know what I'm saying? So the water will be upset, and now your body is reacting to all these other side effects because you didn't take the natural path, which would water.
Word, word, word.
So, you have to think, what I'm saying, what it's telling you in that book, what I'm saying, if you flip it and think about it in actual life, what I'm saying, it does have a lot of good knowledge in there.
Right.
But, people don't understand it to even comprehend what it's actually telling them.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. And then I was also thinking about how, there was a lot of blowback from the Vogue picture with Rihanna and what's his name? ASAP. And
Yeah.
that just sounds like a whistlehead name. I know.
I
Parents
just feel
like,
like people need to mind their business.
I ain't never heard of this dude. So I mean, no shade to this guy. I'm just saying
Yeah.
the name, it just sounds, you know what I'm saying? See, she a billionaire. You know what I'm saying? My daughter dates some dude who call himself ASAP. I'm just side-eyeing him, whatever. but
But yeah.
but you know what I'm saying? But you know what I'm saying? But shout out to this brother. I don't know nothing about him. I ain't heard none of his music. I don't know. Do he make music? Is that what he does?
Yes, he makes music.
Okay.
But
Okay.
I
Yeah.
feel like people need to mind their business. They have no idea what's going on in that relationship. They don't even know
Right.
who was taken. They don't know what was going on in the moment that photo was shot. But everybody got something to say out the crack of their ass and don't know shit about shit. So
They talk so much about this agenda that's out here, and I believe on on many levels that there is definitely an agenda to shape the thought process of the people. And you get to have your own opinion. You get to have your own life. You get to
yeah.
do what you want to do. But I definitely believe, in my humble opinion, that there is an agenda.
There's definitely an agenda. What I feel like is that because it's more broadcast, you notice it more. It's like the new car effect. Like as soon as you buy a car, you see it everywhere.
Right.
So as soon as people, start shining more light on it, now you see it everywhere. It's a problem everywhere. Everybody does this everywhere because we all do. It goes back to we're all one.
Right.
it
Absolutely.
it
Absolutely.
goes all the way the fuck back down to we're all one.
Right. Absolutely. I remember I was getting into, a lot of this conscious work, and many moons back, where they were beginning to point out, like, the brothers that they make wear dresses or dress up as a woman and all of this other shit. And then you look back at, like, In Living Color, and then you look at all of the other cats that showed up. And then I was watching, what's that dude who made that movie from The Sunken Place? What's his name? Jordan Peele.
Oh yeah.
And he's on Netflix, and they got a special from back in 2013 or some shit like that. And they got him doing comedy sketch and all of this other shit like that. And I'm not really sure where this agenda lies at, but I do notice that putting a male in a dress, especially if you're afraid of him, that kind of dissipates the fear factor, you think?
Mm-hmm.
And
it's definitely an agenda because they know what we can do.
but here's my thing. I'm not really, and I guess I haven't really sat with it too much because I don't know if I care as much, but I get it and I see it, but I haven't sat with it. And I'm thinking, like, why the hell? For what? What the hell? Because we already know, like, I sit back and I think, and I remember now that we got all of our politicians, all of our officials, like, now everybody fighting for gay rights, everybody fighting for transgender,
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna get on, you know what? And then, like I said, I am not asking for anybody to agree with me. I get to have my opinion. That's what, you know what I'm saying? And how I see this is that I think that we got a different type of agenda, because I think that with our children, with our youth, you get to be whatever in the Sam Hill you want to be. And if you got a child that's in the 5th grade, the 4th grade, the 3rd grade, and they don't know for sure what the hell they want to be, you leave that child alone and let them figure it out. And if they decide they want to be a gay man or gay woman or a teenager or whatever in the hell, when that time comes, it's all good. Where I think the agenda is that I think that they're trying to Frankenstein people. See, I think we got this pharmaceutical agenda where they want you to think that because you have because you like same sex, your preference is a same sex relationship. You're a lesbian, you're a gay man, whatever in the hell that is, that there's something inherently wrong with you. And you need science to correct what you came out as in order for you to feel like you right and in alignment with who you really are. But what if who you really are was just a gay person? It's just amazing to me. Like, there's a lot of money to be made in changing people's sex, you know. There's a lot of fucking money. Now, listen, I'm going to tell you something. There ain't no hate for these people that's in this gay community, but I want them to wake the fuck up too. Because I think somebody's doing a serious mind fuck on these people by telling them that this is what they need to do to themselves in order to be whole. That they got to change who they are in essence. And you need all of these drugs, all of these operations, all of this medication. Like, what are you doing to yourself in order for you to change? Now, listen, you get to do whatever in the hell you want, but that's a hell of a change.
Yeah.
Prove a point.
My understanding, though, these people who are getting these operations, they feel like they were born with the wrong body. That's the issue. It's not about being gay or being straight, because the thing about it is they don't feel like they're gay because they feel like they were born in the wrong body. It's, I am an actual woman and I am in a man's body. I am an actual man, but I am in a woman's body. What the fuck? That's what, that's my understanding of what's going on. It has nothing to do with being straight or gay.
Okay. So then that helps me out a little bit, because it just makes me feel like there's money to be made with this whole situation.
I mean, it's always about the money. It's always about the money, because before there was the surgeries, these people were documented as just having two spirits. Like, you're a man, but you're in a woman's body. You're a woman, but you're in a man's body. That's what it was before they decided, like, oh yeah, we can get you together. Don't even worry about it.
Right. Like, I just, and I hear you, and it, like I said, it gives me a moment of pause, because it makes me feel almost as if, like, this just, like we started coming out of the woodwork with this shit, and now we got kids involved in this shit, and so now I'm gonna tell you, when Barack Obama, when he first ran for president, we already know, like in the early 2000s, this is when shit started to, or like in the mid 2000s and whatnot, this is when shit started to shift a little bit. When Barack Obama first came on, he said, I ain't for this, you know what I'm saying? They get to do what they want to do, but I ain't for it. I ain't got time for that. I'm not even dealing with it. You know what I'm saying? Joe Biden was in the same space. No, we ain't dealing with none of that type of madness. We ain't got time for this. Somebody on the internet found an old Joe Biden speech, or so they say. Found an old Joe Biden speech, and he came out with this shit. See, here's my other thing. And I'm not trying to just get on the gay subject, because I really don't give a fuck what you do with your life. That's not my concern. My bigger concern is the agenda that gets attached to a lot of hot topics that's out here in these streets, the feminization of people. And then either you take one position or you take the other. And if you don't conform, if you don't go along and get along, if you ain't going along with the program, what the plan is, if you see it differently, then you all fucked up. And then everybody want to come and attack you and attack your neck. I'm
here for it. Back to your discipline, and are you going to stand on your square what you believe?
Right.
Fuck what they matter how they feel about it. Like, this is how I feel. I'm allowed to feel like this, and you know what I'm saying, live your life. I feel like everybody is entitled to protect their universe, and their universe is themselves, their soul, their surrounding, their solar system, the people, the soul system, the people who are around them that shares the same soul as them. You know, outside of that, they don't exist to me.
Right. Right.
You know what I'm saying? I don't have time for that. And I feel like if I'm busy taking care of, my section of what I got going on, then I found heaven. And that's what I'm gonna do.
Absolutely. We absolutely should. And my and back to where I was really trying to really tap in and tune into is how our thoughts have been being guided. And it makes us reject what we truly value, who we really are, because we're afraid that we won't be socially accepted, right? So
Yeah.
now we sit back like me, like I said, I ain't got no problem with that. Come for me. I'm here for whatever. I got you,
Right.
because I don't give a shit at the end of the day. That's not my agenda ain't to be hateful. My agenda is just listen, I get to think the way that I do. I get to have my own thoughts, and I just feel like it's a little extreme for us to change who we came into this world is in essence and take off. See, if you could just change it and it was easy like that, but then you got to take all of these medicines and this and that, and that's a hell of a change. Listen, you grown, you do you. But now we're signing up these agendas for children to do this, and this is a hell of a shift.
Yeah, I would never, because I mean, I feel like even at this point, I just turned 45 years old. Like I still, what I'm saying, ain't sure about a lot of shit, you
Right,
know? So
right,
it's like even a fucking hairstyle.
right.
Like,
But
I
my
like
thing,
it or do I leave it curly,
right,
Like,
right. So, but then here's my thing: like, if we can bring this to the children in the schools, as heavy of a subject as this is, as deep as down the fucking rabbit hole of controversy that this can go, we got so much controversy right now about them teaching true history.
right.
They want
Like
to take
it really
Black history out of the damn school. Stop this.
right.
Now, the thought is because it's making the white kids feel guilty. And I don't know how suppression of the truth is going to help us to heal if we don't deal with it.
Yeah. It's like, they burying their head in the sand. Like we're not even gonna look at that shit. So,
Right.
but
They
the thing
bury their heads in the sand. And that's what I'm saying. Like, if we go allow the alphabet kids to live their truth, why can't we just be about the business of truth? Right? Why
right.
can't we be about the business of truth? And now they tell us that it'll make the other kids feel bad. So we'll take it completely out of the school district. Now there's an agenda.
I mean, but that is so crazy to me. Like y'all didn't think it would made us feel bad when we had to sit in class and everybody tell us like, oh no, y'all people, they was just slaves. They didn't know what the fuck they was doing ever. And we had to teach them how to be clean. We had to teach them how to be civilized. And then when you grow up and find out that that is not the truth.
Absolutely. But I think the bigger impact, and then like there's a lot of people that are saying, you know what, fuck them. We need to teach our own kids. We don't need that bullshit. We don't need them to teach us nothing. And you know what? See, my concern ain't really about our children. Like, we can definitely teach our children that shit. We definitely can. But the school system teaching that shit means that all of the children to get the teaching. All of the children get the knowledge. And see, in years and generations yet to come, when you plant this seed today, racism, white supremacy dies, because then they start seeing each other as equals, right?
Right.
But you
Right.
take this teaching out of the school, you take this teaching out of the school, then
Yeah.
then their children don't get educated on what the true history is, and then they still get the thought process, the mentality that Black people are inferior, and this we only came to this continent to suffer at the hands of slavery because we were uncivilized, or whatever the fuck it is they talking about in these history books that's half true or not true at all, where they leave out a major portion of our history, many different components to our history. Is so complex. This is just like really a dark period, a dark space.
Yeah.
That's in our history. It's like, bringing up somebody who was abused as a child in the past and say that's all their life was about. And they done came up out of that, and there's been a whole lot of other things. And before that shit happened, like you get have a traumatic event at 17, 18, 19 years old. And all of the shit that happened before you and all of the stuff that happened later on in your life, that gets discounted for. All we focus on is the traumatic few years that you went through to change.
Yeah.
And it's, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of sad and unfortunate. In my humble opinion, I think that that we really need to get to a space where we can be authentic enough to be able to speak our truth, to live truth, so that we'll stop playing this dumbass game of being afraid to say something. And this is what we were just talking about earlier with this Taurus moon, and how people is getting that energy of selling out and lose track of where their values are, lose the North Star.
Right.
They don't have to be about whatever agenda. It can be about any damn thing that's out here, where they tell you how you need to think. They tell you what needs to happen. They tell you how to protect yourself from shit. They tell you what needs to happen, and you don't get to make any executive decisions. You got to go, you go to sleep, and we will take care of everything. Go back to sleep. Like,
Well, can I tell you something about the school system? So, a lot of people don't know, but when I was in 6th grade, I got chosen to be in the program, Young Scholars, right? Ohio State University. And, throughout the years from 6th grade to 12th grade, when I graduated, I had a whole lot of different learning opportunities and things like that. So, to maintain my scholarship, I had to, keep at least be average, all the way through school. So, I'm saying, graduated, had my scholarship. Not only did I have a scholarship to Ohio State, I had several other, full scholarships to other universities as well.
Okay.
I chose Ohio State because I have been dealing with them the longest. So when I got into the classes at Ohio State, now mind you, I had to maintain my grades. So it wasn't like I was slacking in school. Plus I had all of the extra help. I went to tutoring twice a week, all those things. So now I'm sitting in the classroom, and, the teacher is talking about things that I have never heard of in my life. But all of these other white students, they knew exactly what she was talking about. So then I had to go back and catch up to where they were, and then continue forward to do the work. So do you know how stressful that was? And that's when I really realized what a school, what an education gap is. I was like, oh, okay. And then on top of it, like the year I graduated, they changed the grading scale. So they made it easier. So yeah, you look like you were doing excellent, but on the old scale, you still had some work to do. So I really did not trust the education system. But one thing that I was taught is you don't let anybody just tell you anything. You have to go to do the research yourself. And if you haven't done the research yourself, you still don't fucking know. You just know what somebody told you.
Absolutely. And this is what the problem is right here, is that we get into this space. See, I'm gonna run this statement. First of all, I want to stop real quick, say what's up to Brother Dante and be in the house, teachers in the house. So, definitely jump in. If there's any thoughts that you guys got on this discussion, definitely get on in on this. Right now we're talking about is overcoming those barriers to our creativity. And we see authenticity being one of those things. And we talked about like this whole Empress energy, where it's really about us being able to connect to our abundance. And one of the key components to us connecting to our abundance is being able to be authentic, being able to step into our creative space so that we can move forward. But we're in a space right now where we're so fearful of speaking our truth. of living our truth, that we end up in this space where we start to dim our lights and we can't show up and be who we need to be. And so what that does is it stifles the creative flow. And we'll do that. We'll sell out. We'll fall short just so that we can make a couple of nickels, just so that we can get a little bit of security, just so that we can get a little social acceptance. And if we really want to show up and show our ass to the beast out here, like I say, we really got to speak our truth. That don't mean that it has to turn into this adversarial sword fight. What that means is that everybody gets to have their truth. If we're supposed to be moving into what we call unity consciousness, where everybody gets that opportunity, to speak their truth. See, there's a universal truth out here. And everybody has, truth is subjective for many of us. And so when we get ourselves in that space, I'm gonna bring this quote that I got. It says, "The courage it takes to leave behind what's not for you anymore is the same courage that will help you find what is." Any thoughts on that phrase? I'm gonna tell you something. For me, the courage for me to leave behind some things that I realized wasn't for me anymore. When I started getting into this space where I started recognizing the reality of just what I was doing in order for me to move forward, in order for me to get along, to go along, I started realizing that it makes me stumble. It makes me get into this space where I'm not really sure about the direction that I'm going. It clouds my thought process. I can't make the connections as well because I'm so worried about in the back of my mind. I'm one of those people that spend thoughts in the back of my head about how they might receive it. But what I did notice is that how I start getting into this flow after I released all of that baggage, I started recognize that I started shifting into a whole nother gear. It started freeing me up. And I know that I got controversial opinions because I see the world differently than a whole lot of people. This is the reason why I ended up getting into the space that I was in, because I would speak truth and people wouldn't agree. And then it would make me feel all rejected. But this is a good thing. And we think because I'm really here for us to really put a light on us being able to overcome these fears, being able to overcome this fake assery that's out here in these streets.
Right.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
For me, it's it's more like it's a protection mode.
Right.
Because for one, it's like I already know these motherfuckers ain't about to receive what I'm saying at all because I know what type of headspace they're in. So it's like, why there with them, you know? But to live your authentic self, you would just have to live your authentic self. They gonna catch up and they gonna see it. I don't need to engage, you know what I'm saying, in those types of conversations with those people. Y'all see what I'm doing?
Absolutely. 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 See, here's one of the things too that I noted too. The problem is not really people being educated. The problem is that people are educated enough to believe what they've been taught and not educated enough to question the shit that they've been taught. You heard?
Well, I've always been a why type person. Like, okay, I understand this is what it is. So I'm always questioning this shit. I don't believe shit for real. So, you know what I'm saying? You can tell me a whole lot of shit, but best believe I'm about to go check it out for myself. Fact finding and all that shit. So, you know, it just is what it is. I don't trust nobody.
Right. And then I'm going to really encourage people to really start working with intuition, because this internet has got us into such a space where we disconnect from the intuition, right? I really think that, you know, see how I realized that this information was controlled. See, my husband, you know, this ain't his conversation, but me and him all day, we can get down with some conspiracy theory talks. I'm willing to dive down any rabbit hole, for real, right? And so when he sent me this clip of Joe Biden, and he was talking, this was supposedly a while back, and he was being very candid, speaking about his real feelings about transgender women, telling them that they ain't got no womb, no ovaries, they're eggs, you're a homosexual man twisted by drugs, all this shit, he was going in. Now, whether or not, listen, and here's my thing. What it sounded like was somebody who just let loose and spoke their truth. You know what I'm saying? Whoever in the hell it was. Whoever in the hell it was that put that out there. But I'm going to tell you something. When I got that clip, I saw that it sounded sure enough bona fide certified like Joe Biden. Like bona fide certified. And when I went to retrieve it, this is why I'm a little off my square right now, because I went to retrieve, I wanted to play this like this dude spoke his truth right there. Now, listen, I'm going to tell you something. I don't like the way he did that. Like he served that on a cold slab. You know what I'm saying? I don't like shit like that. We ain't doing it like that, right? However, he spoke his truth. Right. That shit flowed out so vicious. I mean, it just flowed out so you know what I'm saying? So smoothly that, you know,
you can tell that those
rang, it just rang that this was some truth right here that was being spoken out of their mouth. This is how somebody really felt. You know what I'm saying? And when I went to go and retrieve it, not only had it been deleted from my account, it had been deleted from YouTube. It had been deleted from Google. It had been deleted from every venue. And the other thing that makes me suspicious about that is because there was a small little article, USA Today, maybe a couple of other ones, right? And they call it a viral deep fake. Maybe. You know what I'm saying? Maybe. But I'm going to tell you something. All of it is absolutely positively gone. Now, listen, Joe Biden, he get to change his mind, but that's where he may have stood at one particular point if that was true. But my concern is really, for real, if this information is being put out here, see, because you know what I'm saying? You can talk some shit on just about anybody, anything. You can say whatever you want to, but boy, it's starting to get to a place right now where you better not be thinking different. You better not go against the agenda, the teaching, you know, because I'm going to tell you something. They coming for that ass. And then they snatch my stuff up out of there. And then I said, okay, well, I'll just see if I can find it. Some told me that I should have recorded it. On my recorder on my phone, but I said, no, I'm gonna just pull it up and this and that, right? Because I really wanted somebody to hear just how this truth flow. Now, like I said, you know, maybe it might have been for the best because it was kind of, you know what I'm saying? It was ice cold. You know what I'm saying? It was ice cold. Talking about how people mock you, they ain't really feeling you, and all of this other shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? It was a chilly speech, but the fact that they took that down with such stealthness. Like ninja stealthy, like they came through like a thief in the night, snatched it all up. You can't find that shit nowhere. And you can't find no clips of Joe Biden saying nothing before 3-4 years ago either.
But the crazy part about it is you don't never know none of this shit until you go looking for it. Like, hold on, what the fuck? Because I know. I know it was there. And all of a sudden it's gone.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So this is definitely something, you know, that we should consider. You know what I'm saying?
It's all about controlling.
Absolutely. It's all about controlling. Now, when we had that conversation where we talked about Dr. J, and the entire show got taken down, and it was just a small section of the show where we talked about that whole response to what happened in 2020.
Right.
And how we are observing some of the things that's happening today that could potentially be connected. And we had already let folks know, like, hey, listen, ain't none of us sitting at this cipher right here. Ain't none of us medical professionals. We ain't bringing we just bringing what we see, how we feel that it's going, how we, this is what our perspective is. You ain't allowed to have a perspective no more and put that out there in the ethers. You got to make sure that you following the program. We in trouble when we get censored to a point to where the whole thought is being controlled. But then this social media that we have this metaverse and all of this other shit. See, this is all shit. If we don't balance ourselves with this is my humble opinion again.
Yeah.
My humble opinion. Okay, I don't know. Is the sound going in and out? I don't know. I hope not. My bad. But in my humble opinion, I lost my train of thought that quick. Damn. Oh, the internet, the social media, if we don't balance that shit out, we're going to kill our intuition. We're going to kill our intuitive ability because nobody really wants to think for themselves.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. So more togetherness. We need to come together more. I was thinking, like, do you remember when you were little, you would just sit down? Well, I would anyway. I would sit down and try to talk to bugs. I would try to talk to animals. I would try to move things with my mind. I used to do all of that stuff. Right. And it's like, even trying to do that anymore. Right. You know what I'm saying? Because you have so much other shit going on in the clouds. You know what I'm saying? You're hearing, you're seeing, all of it. So I don't know. I think if we did some more togetherness, more meditation, more being around like-minded people, we could raise the vibration and get some shit funky out here.
And I think one of the things too that will really help us along our journey in raising our vibration and raising our frequency up is just being able to be in a space where we're free enough to speak our mind. We got to really tailor how we do that though, because some folks just get real slick out their mouth. And then they end up in a space where they're disrespecting people. I know I was the queen of that. Like, so on my Kim deck, the card that I would consistently and routinely get is the gentleness and diplomacy card. Yeah. Routinely. And when I would pull my spirit animal oracle up, the deer would come out to tell me to take a gentler approach. So this is like some of the work that I've been doing for the past few years and really work and see, because we get into this space where we think because we need to watch what we say, we can't say what we mean. And I really want to help us in being better communication so that we ain't out here talking all crazy, offensive, and sideways, but really being able to give our truths without being so disrespectful and so hurtful to people out here. But how's that done? Where's the line in that?
I'm kind of of the opinion I'm not responsible for other people's feelings. I can't sugarcoat my truth because it hurts your feelings. Your feelings are your responsibility. So I understand, don't just go around, throwing salt at everybody. But no, I don't have to placate because you can't understand.
Right. Absolutely. And so, yeah, I just want to really look at that because I'm really been feeling compelled lately for us to really start to look a little bit deeper, because if we don't really start paying close attention, we'll go to sleep and let somebody else take the wheel. They tell you don't got to do nothing. You go to sleep and Joe Biden will fix him and Kamala. They'll fix your life. You just go back to sleep. You know what I'm saying? You wait on them to fix it for you. Don't do nothing. Wait, you want to get the facts, you wait for it to show up on TikTok. TikTok will tell you what's going on in this world. And yeah. You know what I'm saying? Or CNN or Fox or whatever in the hell. You know what I'm saying? All these outlets that have people and seeing it, like I said, and then these news stations, they get on this shit, you know what I'm saying, where they get you feeling that the world is a terrible place. Now your vibration is so low and you want somebody to take the wheel. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
This is too much for me. I don't need that shit. Somebody fix it for me. I can't handle this. You know what I'm saying? But really, this is what it's a strategy though. And Key, we talks about this all the time. You know what I'm saying? That this is a tactic. They get your vibration low. It's easier to program you when you ain't on your A game.
When you don't know where to go, it's like, here, I got the remedy for you right here. You know? But they the ones who put you in the spot that you in. So it's like, and the thing about it, you know, with the government that gets me is, for me, what I've noticed is the 50-year cycle. When some shit's going on, they're like, oh, no, don't believe your lying eyes. 50 years later, they release documents like, yeah, that's kind of what we was doing.
Yeah, right. Yeah. My bad. I'm real sorry now. You know what I'm saying? Whatever.
Long ago, you know.
Right. That was back you on that old shit. That was old shit. We ain't doing that no more.
So that's what I don't understand people who sit there and believe them blindly.
Absolutely. Without a doubt. So in order for us to really connect to our authentic self, so that we can tap into our creativity, so that we can really get out here and get on our path to start creating that abundance for ourselves, what would you suggest?
People have to understand that they are allowed to be themselves. It's actually preferred. That's why the fuck you can't be yourself. So when you're getting hit with all of these opinions, you know, from left and right, what you're allowed to do, you're allowed to listen to them and say, okay, I'm gonna rock with that shit, or fuck what you're talking about. I don't, you know what I'm saying? I'm not rocking with it. You have the choice. It's always your choice. It's your world. As soon as you start living like it's your world and fuck what everybody else talking about, I think it'll be a better place.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. That's what I do. I take a ride with them in their world. Look around. You know what I'm saying? People see. You know what I'm saying? They might mess around and teach me something I didn't know. So I let them go ahead and take me to school. You know what I'm saying? And then if you ask me what my thoughts are on it, then I'll go ahead and I'll share my thoughts. But I ain't getting into that bullshit no more, because I realize at this point in my life, you know, I'm one of those people that's just willing to dive deep into a situation, into a subject. I ain't saying that I got more knowledge than everybody, you know, but I am one of those people that's just in a space where I'm here for it. You know, and I'll sit with some stuff and let my intuition guide me.
Yeah, I was like, tell me more. You know, explain it to me.
Absolutely. Let my intuition. And you know what's really helped me? And I like how you were talking about, you know, the baths and getting in there and giving that gratitude to the water. That's a powerful move right there. You know what I'm saying? That gratitude in the water. Shit. I think I'm gonna have to go get me a gratitude bath now. You know, word, say word. But I'm feeling that. You know, one of the things that's really helped me to kind of move past that energy is the malachite. The malachite is so damn gangster.
I've heard, but I've never had one.
Yeah, the malachite is so damn gangster that not only, I don't know, for me, this is my experience. You got to work with the malachite, right? But for me and in my experience, I work with that malachite. Not only does it ground me, it helps to level me out. And it helps me to be able to get into that zone where I can communicate my thoughts with clarity and mean exactly what it is that I say. And me being concerned about how I'm coming off to people, that don't really, you know, I'm one of those people that spin thoughts and shit like that, but that don't really affect me so much, you see? Those are thoughts that really don't come to me as much when I got me a freshly charged up malachite, man. I'm here. Malachites is gangster. I think those bad boys, I think they help to balance all of your energy centers. That's the way that I'm experiencing it. If you know what I'm saying? And I know it's green, it's like connected to the heart chakra, that's somewhere in the middle and everything. I'm gonna have to look up what in the hell? Because for me, what I like to do, I like to work with it first and see what it do. And then I'll go and look and see what they talking about. You know what I'm saying? On where it's at and everything. But this has been where my experience has been with it. See, and I rocks with that malachite. I used to carry a malachite with me when I used to go to meetings. That used to, I'm gonna tell you something. A malachite and a lapis lazuli will get you on a street called straight. You talking about getting in there handling business? Shit. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, I'm gonna go ahead. Hey, listen, I'm gonna go before I close this out. I wanted to see if does anybody have any thoughts, anything before I close it out. I'm gonna give a quick little message from Spirit and call it the day. Let me see. Do I got time for that? I do. Okay. Word. So
well, hold on. I just want everybody to remember their own particular brand of greatness. Remember your own particular brand of greatness and get out there and do it.
Absolutely. So the message that I'm picking up through Spirit is I'm working with my Kim deck today. And the card that came up right here is number 17, which is the Stone People card. And see, with us seeing things differently in this world, we get into this space where we start feeling like we can't really connect to the star player within ourselves. This is a card that really speaks to like detachment and fear and all of that other shit, right? But when we start to really shift in our consciousness and start really getting into this space of not being concerned, because people ain't gonna always feel where you coming from, right? They ain't gonna always connect to what it is that you're trying to say. And so when this card starts coming through, it really speaks to us really finding a way to get into that space so that we can step into our power and really get into the greatest expression of ourself. But our obstacle, the challenge that we run into, of course, as we were just talking about, I got card number 7, which is gentleness and diplomacy. See, we fail to do that. And so with this is really a card that really tells us that we really got to make our mind up and make this conscious effort to trust what's in our heart so that we can give a clear expression of what's really in our heart. Because when we start speaking that truth to power, and we do that in a loving way within the highest vibration, this is how we truly begin to watch how Spirit shows up and shows out within our lives. The thing that Spirit recommends that we do, I got card number 3. And when this card comes through, this is all about us recognizing that obstacles and challenges is a part of our journey. Everybody ain't agreeing with you. Everybody ain't seeing it your way. Everything ain't go according to plan. But when we get into this space, when we start to get creative, we start to get confident, we start making moves, we start bringing ourselves into this space of harmony. And the things that we want to see happen, and we get that vision and we start getting clear, we get laser focused in the direction that we're going. And when you are laser focused on what your mission is and where you're supposed to be at, that's when you step into this Haru energy, because that's what his story is. Obstacles and challenges is a part of the journey. Then at the end of the day, once you recognize all of that, the God of SAR steps through to let you know that you got to watch these words that's coming out of your mouth. Because when you get into this space talking about, oh, it ain't gonna happen, these hoes ain't loyal, niggas ain't shit, this type of mentality right here, you speaking this out of your mouth, you curse the condition and then wonder why the condition is cursed. So when the God of Sar comes through, letting you know that your words are sacred, you got to really be aware and tap into that shit, because you the magician at the end of the day. You call the shots and how this go. And you ultimately hold the power. So you ain't got to worry about what these folks is not saying. They ain't feeling you, they ain't vibing with you and everything. You do you, and you keep it in that highest vibration. Still be out here shining light in this world, because that's what it's supposed to be. Everybody ain't receiving you. You hold the power ultimately. Peace and light. Peace and love. Hey, I'm going to call it the day, y'all. I appreciate y'all coming in here, bringing y'all's time, bringing y'all's energy. I love you all, each and every last one of you. Aquarius Moon, Brother Dante, be in the house. I appreciate you and love you all so much. Thank you for sharing this space with me. And I'm going to call it the day, the day, the day. Hold up. Let me get that outro music going. Peace and light. Peace. Take a pound, 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 take a pound.